Hi everyone, welcome back to us here on the pre-grid. It is time for SuperPole. It is that one timed lap. It is maximum focus for the World RX 1E cars to go out there and decide the positions for the first heat. Now they're all lined up behind us here. Thomas, I noticed something interesting. Once again, René Munich changing his wheels just before coming onto the pre-grid here. Nobody else is doing that. So he's the one there with the cleanest tyres for this one timed lap. I guess that's going to make a bit of a difference, yeah?
Yeah, especially for the launch, you know, you have so much more maybe a bit more traction than the others going off the line here. So maybe we'll see a bit of a...
Yeah, it's certainly very interesting. Now, this one-timed lap, Thomas, you know, that must take a lot of concentration. Perhaps a lot of them sitting there quite nervous right now.
Or the nerves will be big, you know, because you have one lap to do it on. It's SuperPole, one lap, and you need to get it all right. It's just not one corner. You need to get all the 12, 13 corners right to get in the time.
Yeah, and
of course.
Yeah, and it's not like we often see it where there's a warm-up lap and then there's a flying lap. It is from light to flag where they have to set this time. And Johan Kristoffersson has been the quickest one in all of the SuperPoles so far this year.
Yeah, but we've seen from the practice that Mattias Ekström really put it on a good time there. So I don't think that Johan can relax too much now going into the SuperPole here.
Yeah, and there is a slight change now on the rules. Now the fastest driver will choose where he would like to start in the first heat and which race, which is good, right?
Yeah, that is good. That is good. And but I think that the drivers will go for pole position, but it's all about which race they want to choose. So it's going to be exciting to see what they're going to choose.
Yeah, exactly. Now, looking back at Riga, Latvia, Johan Kristoffersson, he was the best in both of those SuperPoles there. He was also the best driver across those two race weekends. I mean, it was incredible. Can he do the same here? Are they going to stop him, do you think?
Well, Riga was really special for Johan because the car just was set up so good for the track. This is a new track. We have big curves that we are bouncing on. We have these loose gravel sections that really puts up a great challenge for the drivers. So I don't think that maybe we will see Johan be just as dominating as in Riga. But I mean, looking at the timings from the practice now, it is a lot of contenders that wants to have that SuperPole position.
Yeah. Now, before we find out which one of these guys might be able to beat Johan Kristoffersson, let's have a look back at the action from Riga. Great action there in Riga and a clean sweep for Johan Kristoffersson. But Thomas, the final here last year, that was pretty epic.
Yeah, it really was. And I mean, that's why I'm stoked though, because I want to experience being here, watching it on site. And finally, after many years of racing, I'm here and you can see I'm as well. I was stoked.
It is a fantastic track and the surrounding as well, up in the mountains here, and we've got great weather. I was here back in 2014. It used to be at the beginning of the season, in the beginning of May, and the weather would be so unstable. So it's better to be here now in September. You know, it's still summer temperatures, even though it's a bit chilly.
You said commentator curse. I mean, we need to be careful now because suddenly it will be snowing here. So
yeah, let's not jinx that. But yeah, there's plenty of nervous drivers sat in their cars. The RX1E cars behind us here. The first car out on track, René Munich, who was the only one to change the wheels on his car out of this slot. So it would be interesting to see what he will be able to do here. So over to our commentators, Nick and Hal.
Many thanks to Molly and Tom. Let's quickly bring you up to date with the championship standings after 3 rounds of 11 for the 2022 series. Kristoffersson unbeaten, 3 wins, Norway, and doing the double in Latvia. Kevin Hansen, who was runner-up to Kristoffersson in both of those races in Riga, is in 2nd position. Timmy Hansen, Veiby, who's claimed 2 podiums, is in 4th position. Now, the running order for the SuperPole, which will decide the lineups for the first heats of the day, is in reverse World Championship order. 8th position. Now, we've already heard from René Munich live this morning. René has told us that he hasn't had the time or the ability to build the car that he was hoping for this season. So it is such good news to see the allinkle.com team on the grid and in action. And of course, René Munich, a team owner, a successful entrepreneur, and a very experienced driver indeed. His PB so far this season in the Seat Ibiza is at 6th position, picking up 10 championship points in the first of the double headers in Riga in Latvia. So it is René Munich, the German driver, that will be the first to go in this SuperPole round. This launch is quite spectacular. Downhill into corner number 1. They were hitting speeds of up to 190 kilometers per hour. That's just shy of 120 mph. There's the green light now. René Munich comes flying down this descending track into corner number 1. And Hal, it's all about time in the car, learning more and more from René Munich.
Massive oversteer out of the first corner, which is the Joker lap as it was previously on this circuit. The SuperPole lap includes the Joker lap, so it includes a standing start and the Joker lap. Look how technical that new Joker here at Montellegro is, riding that big curb on the right-hander, and then this massive curb on the left. There's a new barrier there. That really affects the line you take into that corner. Of course, René Munich, the first on track. This is the first official time session of the weekend. He will top the timesheets initially, and he will want to hope that the guys after him don't go any quicker. But as you said, Nick, this is a learning exercise for the Munich Motorsport team, and every time they go on track, they're learning something new.
51.024. The German driver stops the clock on this 13-corner, 945-metre track here. 60% asphalt, 40% gravel. The altitude was often one of the key factors, not so with the all-new electric vehicles.
The thing I'm mostly looking forward to this weekend is to try this brand new track for me. I heard it's a roller coaster and you need to send it everywhere, so very excited for the weekend, and I heard the food is great.
Some interesting words from Clara Anderson, 22 years of age, from the equipment dealer team in that brand new PWR RX 1E car. What a start to the season Clara had. If you were with us earlier, Hal was explaining to us that this lady has made a massive jump in her international motorsport career, and she's holding her own, I would say, with great style and driver skill. 4th in the season opener in Norway. That's given Clara Anderson a real boost to her confidence. She was 8th and 9th in the double headers in Latvia. This lady can only go one way, and that is up the rankings. She's learning the car. She's learning this new electric era. Now she's learning this track. It's a new one to Clara Anderson, but she's learning fast. Into corner number 1 here at around about 160, 170 kilometers per hour.
Look at the concentration on Clara Anderson's face coming through that first corner, now wider on the exit than it was in the past, as it was when it was a Joker. Very technical. Look at the understeer in the car through that first part of the Joker. You need to get a bit of rotation done, but the grip changes so much. Look at the car grip up and then straighten out. She was just shy of René Munich's time in the first sector, matched him in that middle sector. Now it's all about sending it through this final sector, get the car rotated. Clara Anderson is a very neat and tidy driver. She said that she's driving out of her comfort zone this weekend, needs to be more on top of the car, get more rotation done. She drives through the line through this very technical last chicane, but she's done it quicker by 0.7 of a second than René Munich through that final sector. A time of 50.388. Great run from her.
That is a real confidence boost for Clara Anderson, comfortably at the top of the table, 0.6 plus quicker than René Munich, and you can see the smile on her face. She's very happy indeed with that performance. It's a great start to the weekend for the young Swedish female driver Clara Anderson.
So she will now enter this
Looking forward to drive this track because it looks awesome and see all the fans.
So this is the young 19-year-old Swedish driver Gustav Bergström. It's a similar story for Gustav as it was for Clara before him. He is learning this new all-electric era at a rapid pace. We loved his lightning launches in Latvia just a couple of weeks ago. He's also becoming very accomplished with his racecraft, to say the least. 5th and 6th in the doubleheader of Latvia. For me, only a matter of time before Bergström starts to become a regular player in the final round of this competition. But again, here's a driver learning a new track here today.
Gustav Bergström was the master of the RX1E launch in Riga the last time out for World RX. Every driver in the paddock was complimenting him on his ability to get off the line. Look at the bonnet flapping on the KMS Volkswagen. Sounds like a misfire almost, that it's making that little bit of noise up to the Joker lap for the first time of asking, and he's a 10th quicker than René Munich was in the opening run. That split time you're seeing there is on Clara Anderson, who is currently the fastest driver on an overall lap, but it was Munich who was quickest in that opening sector. Good car control here from Bergström. From warm-up yesterday morning, or from the shakedown they did yesterday, he looked more on top of the car than anyone. He's now gone more than half a second quicker than Anderson in the middle sector.
Green lights. Green tells us he's quicker. Red tells us he's off the pace. It's an exceptional one-lap burn from Bergström. Gustav Bergström goes top of the table, and top of the table by over 1.2 seconds. Bergström goes into top position, 49.167. And that will do nothing but boost this teenager's confidence. His spotter, Ronnie Bergström, is his father. And that is a very, very good start to the weekend for Bergström.
The track here in Portugal is one of my absolute favorites. The best gravel sections and big curbs. A lot of passionate Portuguese fans.
This is last year's winner, Niklas Gronholm, the Flying Finn, part of the construction equipment dealer team. Now, he took advantage of a real tough tussle between the Hansens and Kristoffersson to take that win here a year ago, but this is a very different car. It is an all-electric super vehicle, kicking out 800 kilowatts. That's around about 680 brake horsepower. Gronholm hasn't hit top gear yet this season, but if it's going to happen anywhere, it's going to happen here in Mondello, Portugal. As you heard from that little quick VT before the start of his SuperPole performance, Gronholm lists Montenegro as one of his all-time favourite tracks. Target time is 49.167, 13 corners to take in. Gronholm looking to pick it up where he left this race in September last year.
And they've struggled in the CE dealer team through the opening 2 weekends of the season in Norway and Latvia, but great pace from Gronholm in free practice earlier on today. Look at the understeer and wheel spin coming out of the first corner, riding on board with a fin through this very technical Joker section. Gets a lot of rotation done, and the car doesn't grip up in the same way that teammate Anderson did in the opening run. He's quicker through the first sector. He's also quicker through the second sector, well on top of the PWR machine through this final sector. I love seeing the cars that sideways. I think he's going to go quicker, Nick, here.
No, he's really pushing it to the limit here. We have a new leader, surely. The question is, how far is Gronholm ahead? It's a brilliant drive, 48.069 seconds. Bergstrom's lead is short-lived, but it is the time difference that will put a smile on Niklas Gronholm's face. He's over a second quicker than the Swedish teenager Bergstrom. Gronholm will now watch and wait patiently to see if that will be quicker than the likes of Veiby, the Hansen brothers, and Johan Kristoffersson. Moving into pole position, top spot is Gronholm.
I'm really looking forward to drive here in Portugal this weekend. It looks like a really nice track. Never been here before, but it's a little bit rally track, so hopefully it will suit me really well.
I've been so impressed with Ole Christian Veiby, Norwegian driver, 26 years of age, for the KMS team in the Volkswagen Polo RX 1E. 2 podiums from 3 races this season, 3rd in the season opener and 3rd in the second of the races in Latvia and Riga a couple of weeks ago. Now, this gentleman comes from a long and established World Rally Championship background, so this light gravel will definitely suit this Norwegian's style. 48.6069 is the target time for the Norwegian to beat.
Veiby launches off the line. This is arguably where he's at his most comfortable, driving alone out of the traffic. Rallycross's USP is multi-car racing, but this SuperPole system to determine the grid positions in the opening heat is really where he's most comfortable, driving alone without the distractions of other cars around him. He isn't quite as fast as Niklas Gronholm by a couple of tenths in the opening sector. That opening sector here is so early, it's only 1 corner in because the start straight is just so long. Big inputs from Veiby across the loose here. Rides the curb hard on the left, gets the car turned in nicely to the right. Bit of understeer on the exit, but keeps that momentum going. Makes 1 corner out of that very loose section. He's slower than Gronholm again in the middle sector.
And he's heading for the checkered flag. And this is quite a surprise for many. Oh, look at that 3rd sector time. Brilliant. Making it all up in the 3rd sector, the last 3 to 4 corners of the challenge. Veiby goes ahead of Gronholm by just over 0.02 of a second. And that is a spectacular closeout. Veiby goes top.
Beautiful gravel section, massive curbs. Gotta put it all together in 1 lap. It's not easy on a track like this, but that's what it's all about. It shouldn't be easy, right?
Well, Timmy Hansen, who was runner-up to Niklas Gronholm in this race here last season, another one of the drivers who's made it quite clear how much he enjoys this undulating, tight and technical track. Of course, Hansen, the older of the 2 brothers, the 2019 FIA World RX champion. 2nd in the season opener, 3rd in the first of the double headers. Is this one of the drivers that can stop Johan Kristoffersson here in Portugal this weekend? Absolute concentration. Top position will give Timmy Hansen choice in his position in the heats.
Hansen was second quickest in each of the SuperPole sessions in Riga last time out. Look at the concentration, just holding the wheel dead straight in that oh-so-long run downhill into the opening corner. Gets the Peugeot stopped nicely on the apex, not too wild on the exit. A little bit quicker than Veiby last time around, but not as fast as Gronholm. So the time is showing that he's quicker than the overall best time on the graphic bottom right of the screen, but that's not as quick as the best sector time so far. He's dropped quite a lot of time to Veiby in the middle sector. That's quite a lot to Gronholm as well. Gets a lot of understeer there in the Peugeot, but turns in late, gets the car straightened for the apex, misses the curb on the inside. I don't think this is going to be enough, Nick.
Let's watch the clock very carefully indeed. Veiby sets the target at 48.045. Ooh, third position for Timmy Hansen. Thumbs up from Ollie Christian Veiby. Stays at the top of the table with just a couple of drivers to go. It looked very impressive going into corner one, but it didn't quite go the way that Timmy Hansen was hoping in the mid and the latter part of the challenge.
It's super great to be back in Portugal, one of the most rhythmic tracks in the world, and this sideways driving on the gravel is my favorite style, so let's go for it.
Kevin Hansen lying second in the current championship standings after 3 rounds from 11. Perhaps more importantly, knocking on Johan Kristoffersson's door, runner-up to the Swede in both of the races in Latvia, getting his season right back on track. And you can hear from that VT, he loves racing here in Montenegro, Portugal. Confidence is high. The development of the car continues race after race for the Hansen World RX team. For me, Kevin Hansen is one of the drivers to watch so carefully this weekend. His first season win could come.
Not too much wheel spin for the second of the Peugeot 208 RX1Es we've seen in this session so far. Ginger on the brakes into the first corner, just like brother Timmy, gets turned in onto the curb on the inside, bit more sideways than his teammate on the exit into the Joker. The braking looks so difficult into here, Nick. Very tight on the inside, slower than Veiby in the opening sector. That's significantly slower than Gronholm by some 3 tenths. And it's only really 1 and a bit corners, so that neat and tidy style not necessarily working. Matching Gustav Bergström there in the middle sector, but not as fast as Gronholm. 4 attempts down on Gronholm, a couple of attempts down on Veiby, but it's not necessarily all about being fast, it's about getting as high up the order as you can.
Let's watch that clock carefully as Kevin Hansen goes for the checkered flag, and he's off the pace. He's off the pace by over 0.6 of a second. Kevin Hansen goes into 4th position. Veiby's at the top of the table. Thumbs up once again from the Norwegian with only 1 driver left to challenge, and that of course is our current championship leader.
It's a fantastic track here in Portugal. You need to be super neat and tidy on the tarmac, and you have to be super aggressive, especially over the curbs here in the gravel. You do cut, you gain time, but you might have a punch.
Now, Montenegro is very close to the heart of the defending world champion Johan Kristoffersson. He won his first ever FIA World Rallycross victory here back in 2015. He's gone on to record a record-breaking 30 wins since then. And of course, as many of you know, 4 World Championship titles. The pressure is on from his own teammate, Ollie Christian Veiby. He was the quickest in the practice this morning. And of course, we all know he's actually won here twice before. He's the big favourite to maintain that unbeaten track record. Let's see how he performs in the SuperPole round here now.
Five years ago today, exactly, Johan Kristoffersson won his first world title in Riga, Latvia. That was an emotional day, and he's been stunning so far this year. quite tidy on the entry to the first corner, but picks the throttle up early. That Volkswagen looks so good on the curb on the exit, not too sideways, but getting the momentum. Sideways is spectacular, but not the quickest way. You can't help but go sideways in that middle sector. The fastest first sector time of anybody, quicker than Gronholm in the early part of the lap, and he's matched Nicholas Gronholm in the second part. But that's great for the Gronholm PWR team, that will be really benefiting from this increase in pace this weekend. But it's all about Johan Kristoffersson in this final sector. Bounces off the curb, drives for the line through this final chicane.
He's won every SuperPole this season, and he's done it again here in Montenegro. Top of the table, 47.375. Well, the KMS team will be delighted to hold on to positions 1 and 2 with Gronholm down in 3rd position. Then we see the Peugeot 208s of Timmy and Kevin Hansen 4 and 5. Bergström 6, Anderson 7, Rennie Munich 8. But Johan Kristoffersson, brilliant driving once again. He's dominated the SuperPole in rounds 1, 2 and 3, and he's done it here again in round 4. Huge confidence boost at the top of the table yet again, Hal.
And a huge margin. 0.6 of a second, as we're about to see on the results, ahead of his teammate. It was close in free practice, but that is a staggering margin at the top of the order.
With only 1 lap in the SuperPole, Johan Kristoffersson, the emphatic winner here, ahead of Veiby, Gronholm, Hansen, Timmy 4th, Kevin Hansen 5, Bergström, Anderson and Rennie Munich. Johan Kristoffersson starts the weekend in style. Let's go down to Bryn and hear more from this SuperPole winner.
Well, Johan, starting this weekend in style is the line the commentators are saying. I was talking to Osi as he was watching you there. He said, you've got this in the bag, you'll get this, and you certainly have done it again.
Yeah, it was very good. I wasn't sure because I saw Ole Christian's lap looked really neat and tidy, and he looked fast. So Ole Christian's been very, very fast in the gravel section. The rally driver he is, so good combination to have him in the team to learn from him as well. But of course, very nice to be P1, P2 for the SuperPole, but there's no points handed out yet, so we just have to keep working.
Slightly different situation this weekend. You get to choose your start position. Then can I ask you what you're going to go for Heat 1?
Would be funny to take Heat 1 pole, but I will go for Heat 2 pole.
Heat 2 pole, Johan. Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
There you go, Johan Kristoffersson taking Heat 2 pole position then. Let's have a look at the schedule coming up for the rest of the day. Well, 12 o'clock local time, we have Heat 1 in World RX. Then at 1:30 local, we have Heat 2. And we move on to European RX 1 and RX 3. Local time, 3 o'clock, progression races for the Worlds and the Euro RX 1 Heat 2 as well as Euro RX 3. And then local time, 5 o'clock, we have the World RX semi-finals and World RX final. So there you have it. SuperPole is done for today. It's a double header in the World RX. We have it chalked off. Johan Kristoffersson, he's done it again, and we'll be back at 12 o'clock local time to bring you all the action from the first heat. We'll see you then.
The FIA World Rallycross app enables you, the fans, to watch RX Plus anytime and anywhere as we enter a new electric era for the sport. Registered RX subscribers can sign in with their account details and watch hundreds of hours of exclusive World RX action live or on demand in amazing HD quality. With simple navigation, users can catch up with all the latest news, follow the race results, check the championship standings, and enjoy free video clips.